Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 1 of Demon Slayer. Kitsumo no Yaiba? Something like that. Um, so yeah, I wanted to make sure I got to this before we took our holiday break next week. This is one show I just wanted to get started, I wanted to get it started before we took our break. Um, Now, I do not know how I'm going to feel about this series. I'll just be completely honest here. This is a donation reward. It is replacing Dragon Prince Season 2. I do not know how I'm going to feel about this series. It was a series that I really showed no interest in when it was initially coming out. And then all of the hype started coming out about it. All of the fans started hyping it up and everything, and posting like shit ton of fan art and just posts in general about the girl whose name is somehow escaping me right now. It's like I know her name. It's like Nezuko. It's Nezuko, right? Something like that. Either way, people just completely latched onto her like they do a lot of different characters in anime. But I, as I said, showed no real interest in the series when it first came out. It just didn't. I didn't care about it. I look at every show coming out in the current or future seasons and all, and I determine, oh, am I interested in this in any way? And most of the shows that come out, I'm not. And this was one that I wasn't interested in. It didn't sound interesting to me. But I mean, hey, a lot of shows that I ended up liking weren't initially interesting to me. So, you never know. Now, I don't know what the actual story of this is about. All I know is that there's this main character who I guess has been compared to Deku from My Hero Academia. I've seen posts saying stuff like, "Oh, what would happen if these two fought each other?" And then someone else would say in reply, "They wouldn't actually fight each other. They'd just hug each other while crying." I I guess that I get what it's saying, but it's like okay, um, because I know Deku. But yeah, I guess we're having a main character who's kind of like Deku, at least, kinda. And he, I don't know if he's related to the girl at all, to Nezuko, or if they're friends or something, but he's caring for her. He carries her around in a basket or something like that. And she always has this scroll in her mouth, and apparently, like, she can go demon form or something. Again, I don't know the context behind anything. I've seen a couple clips here and there, but that's about it. Um, I don't know the context. I know this is on Toonami, and my dad has been watching it, but I've been avoiding checking it out because, especially after this was chosen as a donation reward, I wanted to be blind on it. But before then, again, I just didn't care, if I'm being honest. So I really have no idea what I'm going to end up thinking about this series. I have no idea if I'm going to like it or not. Um, with any series I react to, though, um, it is like able to be dropped. Like it can be dropped, and I hope that's not the case. I hope that's never. I never want that to be the case. But it depends on what I feel about it. It depends on if I like it or not. Um, and I'm hoping to hell to love this. But again, I don't know because I showed no interest in it when it was first coming out, and I don't know. And honestly, even if Nezuko is extremely cute and just lovable and everything, it's like one good, lovable character won't be enough to make me invested to get me invested in this anime. It has to have good characters to a higher degree than that. It has to have a good story and so much more. And on top of everything, it just has to be entertaining to me. um, but yeah, I am interested to find out what this is like nonetheless, and I'm hoping that it's good, that it blows my expectations out of the water. Not that I really have like big expectations or anything for this, but you know what I mean. So yeah, without really knowing anything about where this is going to go, we should probably just get right on to it. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, just a couple things here. One, why does it seem like a lot of big anime, especially this kind of anime, are just always the same? Let's be honest. We have a main character, he loses his family somehow, either all of them or most of them, and then he goes on this journey becoming emboldened in order to kill whatever killed his family. Come on, this is such a stereotypical premise. Like, hell, even the idea of someone you love being turned into a monster of some kind, it has been done to death. The concept of this, hell, even going as far as saying the concept of his family dying and stuff while he wasn't there, and maybe even him to some degree blaming himself for that. This has all been done before. A lot. This is by no means a new concept. I mean, we've seen this kind of thing in Attack on Titan. We've seen it in Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress and so many other things. I mean, hell, you could kind of count Supernatural. But the point is, the big thing you take away from this is, does it do it well? Because let's be honest, in today's world, almost nothing is completely original anymore. So the question is, does it do it well? And I can't say. It's too hard to say at this point, because we don't have enough information, and with this kind of story, it really depends on where it goes and where they take the main character. See, the problem with a lot of these shows is that the main character, through this like simple motivation and everything, can oftentimes become extremely bland. That's one of the big problems with Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager is extremely bland and, honestly, to a point, unlikable as a character. He becomes so enveloped in his singular goal that he just loses anything that would make him a full-fledged character. He's like, it's like he doesn't have any good personality or character or depth to him. It's just that one note. And I mean, he's easily one of the weakest major characters in Attack on Titan because of it. But it's like, there are cases where this kind of thing can be done right. Again, going back to Supernatural, where Dean and Sam are very well developed, very well characterized, given a lot of depth and interesting personality, and they aren't ruled by that singular goal. It doesn't rule their lives. They do other stuff. They believe in other stuff even before they get their revenge. Like afterwards, of course, they move on and do and get into other shenanigans and whatnot. But even before they get their revenge, like it's like, yeah, things are still multifaceted here. So yeah, I just want to say that this series, this premise is super stereotypical. The thing that sets it apart, though, is Nezuko. Not the fact that she turned into a demon. Again, very that part alone is pretty stereotypical. It's the fact that she's still good. The fact that she protects Tanjiro. Because in a lot of these kinds of shows or movies or whatever, even games to some degree, the sibling who's turned into a monster or loved one in general who's turned into a monster will usually be a monster. They'll attack the main character without any hesitation and will have to be put down. And usually in those kind of situations, the main character will be like, "Oh, but that's not really my sister or brother or mother or whatever anymore. Anyways, that's not really the loved one I knew, so it doesn't really count as them attacking me." But in this, and again, in this situation, it's like he still sees Nezuko as his sister. Not as a demon, not as a monster, as his sister. And so the combination of that plus her actively recognizing and protecting him, even though she did attack him at first, but I think it's that she was able to fight back from that. That makes her stand out as unique in a way. It makes her come across as something a little different than what I'm used to seeing. So yeah, I kind of appreciate that. Now, then we have Nezuko herself, outside of just the demon aspect and the kind of subverting my expectations with that. I've seen a lot of different memes and stuff, a couple clips here and there, and everything kind of paints Nezuko as being like, not really like a baby, but very childlike. She's kind of cutesy and just really again childlike. Not really speaking or like just emoting much besides just being super freaking adorable and stuff. And so I kind of assumed that Nezuko was like young, like 10 to 15 years old, while Tanjiro would probably, I would have probably guessed, would have been like 15 specifically. But it seems like while, yes, Nezuko is his younger sister, I mean, that was shown very much with the flashback of when she was born. He was like, what, 3, 4 years old? She's definitely his younger sister, and she's definitely young compared to him, and he definitely already looks young. So if he's, again, like, let's say 15, maybe 16, then she'd have to be like 12 or 13, right? Maybe 11 even. 11 to 13, somewhere in that range. Yet when we meet her before her death and everything, she's extremely mature and actually looks a lot older than I would feel she should if she's younger than Tanjiro. I thought she was his older sister when I saw that, because I'm looking at her like she seems like she's almost old enough to be his mother. Like, she seemed that mature in terms of her personality and character, and even in appearance, she didn't look that much younger than, well, their actual mother. She looked older than Tanjiro by far. Now, when she's in current form, her demon form and shit, um, she looks younger than Tanjiro, or at least the same age. But this is a thing that's always happened in a lot of anime, let's be honest, where characters do not look like their age at all. I mean, one big example I can think of right off the bat is Bleach. Ichigo Kurosaki looks like he's probably 18 years old when he's only like 15 at the start of the series, mind you. Um, Madoka Magica is another huge one. In Madoka Magica, the characters are in high school, yet they look like they're like not even 10. And it's a thing with anime. A lot of anime art styles make characters seem either older or younger than they actually are. And another thing is that in a lot of anime, the characters are also characterized that way. They're given a lot more mature personalities than they should if they're younger, and a lot of times even older people are given really childlike personalities. And the latter of which, like, there's no issue with. But when you give a child character, a really young character, too mature of a personality, it makes it come across as really weird. Because here's the thing. I've been around plenty of children at church and stuff, especially when working in the children's ministry. And children can be extremely smart and very observant. But the thing is, they're still children. And pretty much all of them, even the most observant and smart of them, still run around, goof about, are extremely childlike. So seeing Nezuko like that, if she's like 11 to 13 years old, yeah, that's not a child, that's like a preteen to a young teenager, but still, I she was just a little too mature, I feel. It just felt a little unnatural to me. Um, but yeah. So then we get to the demon hunter. He seems to show regret for arriving late and not being able to save Tanjiro's family. But at the same time, he is extremely cold and seems to have cut off his emotions. His entire ideology of basically telling Tanjiro to, for lack of a better or just, more correct term, he's basically telling Tanjiro to man up. I hate that term, but yeah, it's probably the most apropos here. He's telling Tanjiro that he has to stop groveling, stop crying, and do something about it. That he has to fight back, that he has to become strong. The typical standard bullshit. And we're seeing that he equates basically emotion as a whole to weakness. That he sees it as something weak, that it's just going to get you killed, that it's a waste of time, basically. And that kind of stuff has always irritated me, that hyper masculine, macho ideology. Basically just toxic masculinity in a nutshell. The idea that guys have to be super tough and macho and can't show weakness like emotions and stuff like that. And I'm not even saying this is directly toxic masculinity, because I don't think like the hunter was saying that specifically in regards to uh, Tanjiro being male. I think it was more in terms of the situation at hand, and it's like, oh, if you're gonna do something about everything, if you're gonna like fight back against against these demons who took everything from you, you've got to be this way. But even so, it still comes across as just really irritating. Because again, emotion is not a weakness. Groveling for the safety of your sister is not weakness. It's a strength. It's called love. Uh, but seriously, seriously. Um, the instant the old guy, Tanjiro's friend who he called granddad, again, obviously not his actual grandfather, just using it as the more respectful term. Um, he's the instant he started talking, the instant he invited Tanjiro into his house, it's like, no, no, come back. You can't be out here at night. And he started talking about the demons. It's like you just instantly knew that Tanjiro's family was going to die. Hell, the instant you saw his family and saw his relationship with them, you knew they were going to die. Because let's be honest, it was the way it was handled, the way it was shown was super stereotypical. Again, for these kinds of shows that do this kind of story. So it's like, yeah, it's going to do that again here. It was super obvious. And as for the execution in this episode, it wasn't terrible, but again, I'm gonna really have to see where it goes to form a real thought process on this. Now, then there's the question of the scroll that Nezuko has in her mouth. We know that the hunter put it in there, but why? Does it actually limit her powers? Does it keep her under control? Does it actually do something? Or did he just put it in there? And if so, why? Because it's just it kind of seems just random at the moment. I assume there's a reason, but I don't know. So Tanjiro is now headed to meet with this old guy, this elderly man who the hunter sent him to, who's apparently going to be able to help him. And the concept was brought up about how demons could possibly help heal Nezuko of her, well, being a demon. Um, but that it's unlikely any would. So I'm guessing that's probably the main goal for this series. The main goal is to get Tanjiro strong enough to be able to make the demons, at least some demon, heal Nezuko. Now the question is, does it have to be the same demon that caused all this? Or can it just be any demon? And are we even gonna find the demon that caused all this? Like, are we gonna see? Are we gonna find and have to see Tanjiro face off against that specific demon? We'll have to see. But yeah, initial thoughts. Initial thoughts, just overall, it was okay. I didn't hate it. I can say that much. I'm interested enough to continue for now, but I wouldn't say it was anything special. Like I said, it was very stereotypical, very kind of generic to these kind of anime. It didn't do too much unique and special, just really the thing with Nezuko. But it didn't do anything really bad either. It didn't do anything too like offensively bad or ridiculous or over the top, just stupid. It didn't do anything like that, luckily. So I can appreciate that, at least. Um, well, we're just gonna have to see. Again, it's hard to judge this kind of series on one episode alone. So we'll continue and hope that it ends up being really good. Hope that it just impresses me. Excuse me. But either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Demon Slayer. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you want to check out any of my social media links and more, please check them out over to the side. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave those down below. In the meantime, though, thank you so much once again for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.